this tip is aggressive. I kind of like it. Ooh, another huge issue. Hello friends, I'm Jessica Nicole Dickerson, aka J&D, and welcome back to another video. So in today's video, we're going to be covering all the book buying advice that y'all have shared with me in the comments, on Twitter, just kind of here and there advice that I've heard that I'm going to share with you guys. If you didn't see a recent video of mine, I talked about all my book buying mistakes that I have made, and there are many. It's a long video, but y'all came into the comments and like agreed with me and said you also struggle with this, or that like this is what you do to kind of counteract these like kind of book buying mistakes that happen. So I'm going to share it with you because you have helped me and I want to share that with y'all. Let's share some solutions. Let's all try and help each other out here. The first book buying mistake that we all discussed, especially in the comments, was buying pretty books. Oh, this one is so hard because, like, yes, I want beautiful books on my shelves, of course, because I not only like books, like the context in our content, that's the word I was looking for, the content in the books. I just also love the covers, the cover art, the colors of the book. There's so many elements to a book that is also just very pleasing. You know what I mean? Like opening a good book, getting that book smell. There's so many elements to the reading experience in addition to just the words on the page. Let me know if you feel the same way. So yeah, buying pretty books is definitely, I feel like, a big issue that we all, y'all said in the comments you felt that way too. So it's not me. It's not just me. It might just, no, we all feel this way. Some of us feel this way. Whoever feels this way. Something that came up to counteract buying beautiful books is to create a book wish list. So you add the book to the list. Also researching the book, seeing if you can find at least 5 reviews that are really positive about it, or researching the synopsis. Does it have tropes that you enjoy? If you're able to find reviews of it that you like and tropes that you enjoy within the synopsis, or it entices you, take it even a step further and either borrow it from a library. Obviously that might not be accessible to everyone, but if you can't borrow the book, if you can go to a bookstore and read the first chapter of it and take the time to read it, you may actually find out whether this book is really exciting and it's for you, or it's not, and you're like, wow, I struggled to find positive reviews from reviewers that I tend to enjoy the books they read. Like, I don't know, like, if you struggle to find good reviews, if you didn't enjoy the synopsis and you're like, this book actually has tropes I dislike, and when reading the first chapter you're not interested in it, sis, don't buy that book. Doesn't matter how beautiful it is, don't buy it. There's a light shining in my face. I can't with this. How dare you, son? You might see lights still on me. Just ignore them. I apologize. Something mentioned in the previous video, so if you haven't seen it, go check it out. The big takeaway is, do your bookshelves reflect the lifestyle you want? So if you're just a book collector, then definitely I hope you enjoy all the books you're bringing in, but you may not be as selective when bringing in books, which is totally okay. Whatever you want for your shelves, do it. For me, I've decided when I look at my bookshelves, I want to see lots of books that I want to reread, that I really enjoyed, that were 4 or 5 star experiences. You know what I mean? That's what I'm looking for. So I'm trying to get way more selective. Yeah, I'm just trying to fix myself. I'm trying to stop the need to continue buying trendy books or buying books for videos, but more videos will come talking about that. I have more unhauls coming up and other very specific books about getting my life together, because guys, it's a mess. My life's a mess. Ugh. Another rule that I really enjoyed that a lot of you guys mentioned is the 1 in, 1 out rule. So this is, if you finish a book, then you can allow yourself to buy another book. This is a great rule, I think, when your TBR is already pretty low, and that being your physical to be read books are, you know, at a reasonable number for you. That you're like, okay, I still want more variation. There's a new book that came out that I'm really liking. Let me read this book and then I'll get another book that I haven't read. The only issue with this rule is if your TBR is still massive like mine. So say in the month I read probably like 6 or so books. If I read all 6 of those, purchased 6 new books, I'd only be just equaling out my TBR. I wouldn't be, you know, decreasing the number. So what you can do is, instead of doing the 1-to-1 ratio, instead up it a little bit. When you finish 3 books, you can buy 1 book. If you finish 10 books, you can buy 1 book, etc, etc, etc. So you can kind of adjust it to what works for you, which I think is really interesting. I think I'm gonna figure out my ratio in a few months after I get my physical TBR down, which is the goal for 2021. The rest of 2021, I want to get my TBR to 30%, and I know I can do it if I focus. I could do it. Again, future videos, we'll talk about that later. Another tip that one of you guys gave, which was so good, is actually putting a limit to the books that you allow in. So someone specifically commented, shout out to you, I don't remember who exactly it was, I'm so sorry, but they said that their husband picks their book buying limit, which is just really funny to me, just like asking someone else who isn't a reader to pick a number, because they probably would pick a possibly more reasonable number than you. Because when I go book buying, I'm like, oh, I'll just buy whatever grabs my attention, or I'll go in without any limitation and just be like, oh, whatever flows the boat. I don't want to add any limitations to me, not today. But if you are like me and you have a massive TBR, and I know a lot of you in the comments of my previous videos have been talking about that, and we see eye to eye. So I think I'm gonna start asking, not my parents, because they also are very much like, buy whatever you want, sweetheart. They also love books. Same with my sister. So I might ask someone like my roommates or something to pick a book buying limit. The number the person in the comments said was 3 that their husband gave them. So if you ever do go book shopping, you're only allowed to buy 3 books. And that's hard, especially if you haven't bought books in a really long time. What I used to do, and this is kind of what led me to having so many books, is that every season, so I would get books during like Christmas season, holiday season, I would get books during my birthday, which is in February. I'd get summer books because I'd be like, it's summer break, and then I would get new books for back to school. Now that I'm not really in school anymore, that structure doesn't really work, and that structure didn't work in the first place because I was always bringing in about 20 to 30 books, and I would maybe be reading 10 to 15 of them, which isn't too bad. But if I'm doing this 4 times a year and I'm bringing in all these books, it does pile up, and it did. I did that system probably for like 6 years, and I've only been an avid reader in my opinion. I don't know if I'm really an avid reader. I feel like I am. But I've only been actively reading a lot for the last 2 years. So that's why I've accumulated all these books. Yeah, you can judge me, it's okay. I'll take all the burden, I'll take all the judgment, it's fine. Because you know what? In years to come, my bookshelf will be beautiful, not just in aesthetic and in its rainbowness, but in its content. And at least for me, I know some of y'all might be looking at my bookshelf and being like, girl, that book ain't beautiful, it was a trash book. And I'm like, but I liked it. Me immediately thinking of the Red Queen series and how much everyone doesn't like it, and I'm like over here like, but I stand. Whatever, it's no biggie. Ooh, another huge issue, or not issue, it's not that huge. Honestly, books, it's like, there are worse things happening in the world. I need to calm down. I'm just being hyperbolic, my bad. But another issue that was brought up a lot is the want to buy books. That underline, I have an impulse, I've liked this book, I've heard people say good things, I've seen it and it looks beautiful, I've heard about it and it sounds great, I want this book. And not only is it just one book, it's normally like a list of 10, 20, even up to 100 books where you're just like, all these books sound amazing, look amazing, I would love them in my life, and you just have that like, that desire, that want. So how do we counteract that underlying want? Well, the advice that was given in some of the comments is the same as earlier when it comes to like pretty covers, to see if you find good reviews, to see if you actually enjoy the synopsis, to see if you actually enjoyed the first chapter of it, which, by the way, if you don't know, on Amazon most of the books are available to test out their first chapter, or at least first few pages. I recommend that too if you don't have access to the physical book right away. Hopefully that is more accessible to people. But you can do that again, but then the issue comes with, what if there are 20 books out there that are like raved and reviewed and highly recommended from your favorite creators, and you have so many books out there that you could easily enjoy and easily have right now? Question is your TBR really big? Do you already have books that you are excited about? If you don't have books that you're excited about on your shelves and you just want other books and you're looking at your shelves and you're like, I say you should try to unhaul those books. You might be having a lot of books on your shelves that don't spark joy in you. Ooh, we get Marie Kondo up in this ish. Yes, we're gonna spark joy in your life. Again, your bookshelves should reflect what you want out of life. So if you're looking at your shelves and you're bored, you probably need to reflect on what books you're bringing in, or if these are books from, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, things that you used to be really interested in and now aren't anymore. That's totally okay, and it's a great thing too, because you could donate them or you could sell them. There's so many opportunities to give back. You could give it to, your kids, your cousins, your aunts, your nieces. There are so many people out there who would probably enjoy those books better, so I never feel too bad giving them away, especially when donating them, because you could also donate them to libraries and other like shelters, or you could create a little library. That little trend is so freaking cute. I love them so much. But yeah, I would definitely say when you have that desire or want to purchase a lot of things, it normally means what you have is there's a lack. The desire is there because there's a hole over here that your books aren't fulfilling. So it's like, okay, let's see what I can take out, donate, give to someone who would really cherish it, and see what are the ones I like, and are there any here that really excite me that I could read right now and see if I really enjoy. I tend to, after unhauling books, really get excited for the books that I own, because it's like, you stand the test of time. You've been around. I really freaking love you, man. Yeah. So after doing that, if your want and desire is still really large, then maybe follow the previous rules, where it's like, okay, after you read one book, then you can buy another book, or after you read a couple books, then you can buy the one book. Like, whatever ratio works best for you. It is a game of time. It's never going to come out right away. Like right now, I have so many unread books, and I'm assuming it's gonna take the next few years, oh that's disgusting to say, but truly years, to kind of figure out what books of these do I love or not. Because if I have over 100 unread books, which I do, I talk about in my last video if you haven't seen it, I have more than 100 unread books, closer to 200, we're not gonna talk about it because I'm getting anxious. When you have that many unread books, it's gonna take time to readjust. A lot of these books I purchased 4 or so years ago. Am I still into them? Do I still want to read them? Do they still excite me? It's totally okay if they don't, especially as I grow as a reader, as I grow as a reviewer, as I grow as an adult, maturing, nurturing in life. I want to read more nonfiction. I want to read more classics. I have a lot of YA, but I also, I'm actually really enjoying YA, so I won't pretend that I'm like uppity now that, oh, I only want to read nonfiction. So not true. So me having over 100 unread books on my bookshelves, I need to realize the time that it will take to actually read all of those. Ooh. This next one, so hard. Buying cheap books, which is my #1 issue as well. I tend to browse Amazon and bookstores and go to the discount section and just buy books because they're cheap. Like, oh, this is $2.50. Ah, sold. No, not anymore. At least no to me. Obviously you can do whatever you want, but for me, I'm not buying discount books anymore. So I'm limiting my kind of browsing of books. I'm limiting also the websites where there are a lot of discounted books, like Thrift Books and Book Depository. So my browsing of books has lessened. I'm no longer really actively trying to go out and look for books. So that might help you. Me, that's me too. And I'm really calling myself out here because that is what I did for so long. I would go on Book Outlet, I would see what was available, if I had kind of heard about it, if it was popular, and if I wanted to make a video about it, and I would just buy it because it had a cheap price tag. So really consider limiting. I no longer go on Book Outlet. I no longer go on thrift books. I don't need any more books. I have plenty of books, and I understand that that's a privilege, but I'm a work on my privilege. I'm a keep living my desired life and manifesting the things I want out of life and working on the things that don't work for me. I hope we can do this together, man. Oh gosh, this tip is aggressive. I kind of like it, and I kind of want to do a huge unhaul where I take all my books off my shelves and ask myself this very important question. Will I reread this book? Someone commented below in that video and said, I will unhaul, I being the person who's commenting, will unhaul any book that I don't want to reread. To them, their bookshelves want to be filled with books that they really, really love and want to reread. That's their kind of foundation. That's their rule. So when they purchase a new book and read it and don't enjoy it as much, or kind of liked it but won't ever read it again, they will unhaul it. I kind of vibe with this rule. I don't know about you guys. It sounds a little scary. I know some of you just went, but no. But maybe yes? Question mark? I kind of like that because I have that need and desire for my bookshelf to kind of bring me in and be like, I want to read all of these books. Even if I've read them before, I really want to reread them. I want to have my bookshelves be full of books that I want to reread, that I truly enjoy to the point of, I'm going to read that again, or I'm going to keep recommending this to my kids or to my friends, or I'm going to reread it in 3 years and 4 years, and I just, that's the vibe I want. So I kind of like this rule, even though it's mad aggressive. Mad aggressive. We'll see. I kind of want to implement it for my massive unhaul. We'll see what happens. I'm so scared, but I'm kind of excited because I'm over being anxious of having so many books. I'm so over it. This last month I have truly not had, I have had zero motivation to pick up the books, and I think it's because there's so many and I'm starting to freak out about them, and I'm like, okay, but what if and how if, and I need to read this book for a video, but then I want to post a review about this, and then I want to blah, 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 blah. So instead of doing any of those things, I just do nothing. Not cute. We're gonna fix that. We're gonna get me. I'm going to be working towards getting my TBR to under 30%. So if you like this video, gives it a thumbs up. Thank you guys for your amazing book buying rules and things like that. I'm going to be talking in the future about my own book buying band, the unhaul that's coming very soon, all the things that I've mentioned in this video. I'm going to be talking a lot in the next few weeks because I feel like it's just, this is weighing on me, and I don't want an extra weight on life. Life's hard. Rent's due every month. It's already hard over here. I don't need that added pressure. YouTube, Bookstagram, all those things are really supposed to be a fun outlet for me. That's what I want. So I'm gonna create that space, and I hope you are working towards creating the space that makes you happy, and that you can join me on this journey maybe, and we can do this together. And if you have any more book buying rules, please let me know down below. I'd love to know more of them. It was so fun looking through all your guys' comments last time. Yeah, and I really hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it gave you a little some, little sprinkle this, little sprinkle that, little knowledge. You can laugh at me, whatever floats your boat. Hope this video gave you a little bit more sunshine, and I will see you in the next one. Bye! I don't know what I'm doing here. Oh, also check out my Patreon because, like, I love y'all. My Patreons. Y'all the best. You support me and my craziness, so thanks.